One thing that businesses sometimes struggle with is how to figure out the return on investment for social media activities. Return on investment is an important tool for deciding where you're going to spend your marketing dollars. But there are many different and complicated methods used to calculate this, so we're going to present a really simple and direct way to estimate your return as a starting point. At the end of the day, the most direct way to approach social media ROI is by defining your goal to be increased sales. You have to define a goal or you don't have anything to measure against, and then looking at which specific sales you can attribute to social media. This is easier said than done, but one straightforward approach is simply to ask every buyer at your dealership, how did you find out about us? Did you take advantage of any of our social media efforts to help you decide upon your purchase? This could be through a survey or other online means. But there's value to having this conversation directly with the buyer at the time of the purchase, not the least of which is being able to rely upon a definitive response from each person, which can't be expected with polls and surveys. There are, of course, more complicated or more automated ways to estimate whether you can attribute a sale to your social media efforts. For example, making use of social media campaigns that provide coupon codes exclusive to your online followers, or following online purchases back to see if the buyer came to your site through social media channels. You could also forecast what you expect sales to be without social media efforts, and then measure what sales are when you actively use social media or a variety of other methods. But by just directly asking a buyer if social media played an important role in bringing them to their purchase decision, you have a mechanism that you can implement immediately and that requires nothing more than 20 or 30 seconds of your salesperson's time with a customer. In fact, by starting this conversation in person, you have a great opportunity to make the buyer aware of all your business does to help its customers even after a purchase. This is exactly the kind of engagement you want to build to encourage return clients. So after deciding which sales you can attribute to social media activities, all you need to do is add up the investment you've made in social media, which is much easier to calculate. Let's walk through an example. The easiest way to calculate your ongoing social media investment is to add up the cost of the employee time used to monitor, interact, and report on social media activities, plus the cost of any monthly services you are using to help with monitoring, publication, or other activities. There may also be one-time costs such as integrating your social media presence into your website, but it's important that you remember that those costs are not ongoing, so don't let them derail your analysis. Now let's look on the return side. We've decided that the return we're looking at is sales attributed to social media. So all you need to do now is add up all the sales that you think were influenced by social media. You might decide that a particular sale really only occurred because social media brought your buyer directly to you and equipped them to know exactly what they were looking for in their purchase. So that sale should be valued at 100%, as it really wouldn't have been made possible without your social media efforts. But there may be other sales where your social media activities only played a part in making the sale, so be sure to value that accordingly, maybe claiming that only 30% of a particular sale is due to social media. This is how we calculate social media ROI, return minus investment divided by investment. This calculation will provide you with a percentage that will indicate the return on your investment. So if your social media ROI based on sales is 150%, you know that for every dollar invested in social media, your company makes $1.50 worth of sales. Sounds pretty good. This kind of calculation makes it easy to compare whether an investment in social media is better relative to sales than an investment in traditional media. If social media has the higher ROI, then according to this specific measure, it's a good choice. But don't forget about other ways social media can financially benefit your company. In addition to being well positioned to minimize or prevent damage that might be done to your brand online, one common area where social media investments are yielding significant savings is through handling customer support calls through social media channels. Done well, this has the added benefit of strengthening your brand through more immediate feedback as well as demonstrating your dedication to serving customers. When calculating investments in traditional media versus social media, it can be difficult to compute the effectiveness of traditional media spends based on circulation or listenership. This is because you have no statistics detailing how many people actually looked at your ad. It would be like expecting every one of your social media posts to reach and be read by every one of your followers. However, to social media's advantage, your number of followers is a much more reliable number than any of the traditional media reaches you will encounter. Social media tools can also be used to track referrals and URLs on posts, create special landing pages for promotions, and ask questions directly to consumers. You can also share your successes and help improve your community as well. On top of all of that, social media activities organically improve your search engine rankings as well. So at the end of the day, you can calculate ROI based on sales that occur through specific initiatives in ways that are simply not possible or practical through traditional media.